Ang ating mga starters for the Blackwater Elite of Coach Leo Isaac, it's going to be Brian Aruela and Val Acuña in the backcourt. Markov Doubted in the middle. Bam Bam Gamalinda and JP Eram ang kanilang mga forwards on the other side of the fence. Alaska Aces, mga nakaputi ngayon with red trimming. Casio Eximiniano in the backcourt. Sonny Tos, the boss, in the middle. Cyrus Baguio and the import Romeo Travis on the flanks. Action about to get underway here from the Big Dome. Charlie Cuna, Dominic Uy, Cel Guevara bringing you Governor's Cup action dito sa inyong 2015 PBA. This quarter is brought to us by Motolite. For express and service, call 370-6686.
At the start of this conference, Charlie, if you look at the Alaska Aces, how did they end up in the finals? You know, 2 conferences ago against the San Miguel Beermen, they were able to do that with their defense. Last conference, arguably because of the injuries, because of that long way of they were playing defense, yung brand of basketball nila took its toll, nasaktan yung kanilang mga players. Now it seems like they are healthy, they were able to rest, so it should be a good start for the Alaska Aces. However, para dito sa Alaska, kung maalala mo, pwede ka magdalawang import itong komperensyang ito, but they chose na isa lang, you know, one normal import as you would call it. And it's going to really be able to develop their players. Kaya sila pumunta dun sa rutang yon. Ito namang Blackwater Elite, you know, they're looking at improving their first conference. Hindi sila nanalo ng isang laro. Second conference, they won 3 games with Marcos Doubted. They're a lot more competitive. Yung mga laro nila, mas dikit na. Dun na lang sa dulo, yung mga decision-making na lang ang nagiging problema. And you hope that because of the experience that they got last conference, this conference, it will carry over for them to make. Kung nandun sila sa kaparehong sitwasyon, they will make better decisions.
Tama yun. You know, I got the privilege of covering several Blackwater games noong Commissioner's Cup at nakita nga natin yung marked improvement sa kanilang execution for 3.5 quarters. But in that end game, doon sila nagpo-falter, and maybe guys like Brian Heruela, Rafi Reyes, the point guards, can bring up their play to a certain level na pwede na sila maging competitive execution-wise doon sa last part of the ball game.
And really, that's what separates yung magagaling na mga player. The guys that will be able to deliver pagdating dun sa dulo kapag kinakailangan. You know, it's one thing to be able to compete, it's another thing to be able to close out.
And a great pass. The boss to Cyrus Baguio inside. Hindi nabasa ng depensa ng Blackwater Elite. And that's one of the things that they also have to work on. It's those rotations on defense. Try to stay competitive with the elite teams like Alaska. Almost 2 minutes gone by, 4-0 ating score. First basket of the game was by Romeo Travis. A great start para sa kanya to get his confidence going here in a new league. Pero sabi mo nga, nakausap mo natin si Alex Compton. Nakausap ko rin to si Romeo Travis kanina. And he said, you know, it's not like I'm a rookie, really. I've been playing around the world for 8 years already. So lahat ng klaseng basketball, nakita na raw niya yan, naramdaman na niya, alam niya physical, napanood niya yung 6 of the 7 games he watched live nung finals between Talk and Text and Rain or Shine. So alam niya kung gano'ng ka-physical pwede dito sa PBA, handang-handa na raw siya para dyan.
Well, you talk about being prepared, you talk about being able to watch it. It's a different thing kapag naglalaro ka na, and it's in the heat of the moment. That's when you really need to be able to keep your cool. And Brian Heruela, napakaganda ng pinakita niya last conference. He was the leading point guard for Blackwater Elite, and you know, they're hoping that this guy they can build on. He will be one of the pillars of this franchise.
That's right. And you know, after making a basket, comes right back down on defense. Nakaagaw naman siya ng bola. Offense naman ng Blackwater, looking to time, maybe take the lead. Almost 3 minutes into this game. The inaugural, the first game ng ating PBA Governor's Cup, and Kuya Marcos does tie it up at 4 apiece.
You know, it's all about confidence para dito sa Blackwater Elite. Kinakailangan makipaglaban ka simula pa lang para hindi ka na pag-iiwanan. You know, things that you worked on in the preseason, dun sa mga ginagawa mo, yung tinakbo mo, yung ginawa mo mahihirap na mga drills, gusto mo magbunga dito sa first few games to be able to gain more of that confidence, and hopefully pagdating sa gitna at sa dulo, meron kang panapos.
Okay, just rimmed out yung 3-point attempt ni Romeo Travis. So you can see he has that stroke with the left hand. Pass goes into JP Eram at biglang nag-6-0 run itong Blackwater to take a 2-point lead. When you look at the lineup of the Alaska Aces, Dogs, kita natin si JP Cacho. He's there at the point. And he's been wearing that mask carry over sa conference nito. He got it to the later stage of the Commissioner's Cup. He got hit on the nose. And that mask, you know, it's really been bothering him. Injuries. Hindi lang naman yung ilong niya. Before that, meron naman siya sa may binti niya, may problema. And JV Cacho is a guy they're looking at who have to really step up his ball game. Sapagkat when he's playing his A game, ang dami nang nadadala.
Napakahirap pigilan itong si JV Casio when he's playing his A game, when he's healthy, when he's not feeling anything. It's all about him being able to keep in tip-top shape and be healthy to be able to help his team every single game.
Quick pass to Balacuña sa kanan, and the outside sniper unable to find the mark. May tulak sa rebound play. Looks like Romeo Travis had to shove JP Era.
In this Governor's Cup, mas lalo ng importante yung malalaki because some teams have bigger imports and some teams may have 2 imports. It will play a big role yung mga big men coming off the bench, not just the starters, but guys to be able to hold their own against the bigger imports. And even if the imports aren't that big, yung mga imports sigurado maglalaro yan sa loob. So yung banggaan, yung bugbugan will definitely be a notch higher this conference.
We're expecting a lot of rough and tumble action. That's a long 2 mula kay Ping Examiniano. 8-all ang ating score. The nice thing about the Blackwater's 4 field goals so far, it comes from 4 different players. So nakikita natin, nagkaka-weapons na rin itong Blackwater. More confident on the offensive end.
The biggest tool or biggest weapon para sa isang manlalaro yung kanyang kumpiyansa. It doesn't matter if you're as good as a Michael Jordan, pero pag wala kang kumpiyansa, wala din yun. Hindi mo malalabas yung skill level mo. That's why players, once they get into a streak, it's a lot more difficult to stop them.
Alam mo, may nakakausap tayo mga coaches minsan na kinikwento sa atin. Sa practice, napakagaling daw ng ibang mga player. Pasok lahat ng tira. Pagdating naman dito sa official game in front of the crowd, under the bright lights, nag-iiba. So yung kumpiyansa wala ron.
It's definitely a mindset. Kinakailangan komportable ka. Dun sa sitwasyon na binibigay sa'yo, you have to be able to hug that limelight.
Oo, tama. A guy like Brian Eruela has become accustomed already to leading his team. Nakita natin, napaka-confident yung kanyang stroke from outside. And there's JV Casio answering right back. Yung challenge si Brian Eruela na hindi niya nabantayan a while ago, nakascore sa kanya. Ginawian naman agad ni JV Casio.
Yung daming pwede kasi mangyari sa kumpiyansa. It's one thing na, sige, sabihin natin, you're healthy, and then wala kang kumpiyansa, you work on your game, you have a good game, kinakailangan susunod na laro, ganun din, tuloy-tuloy. Eh, paano pag nasaktan ka o nahirapan ka? That's why they always talk about bouncing back from a tough game.
With Balacuña, they tout him as one of the outside shooters. Try to open the floor para sa kanyang kapunan, but his shooting has been very erratic. Since he came into the league, lumabas siya ng UE Red Warriors. Yun na nga kanyang reputation. Played for a few years with the Pure Foods San Mix franchise and was not able to deliver from outside. Now, binibigyan siya ng pagkakataon ni Coach Leo Isaac to be that floor spacer. You have to prove his worth.
Well, if you look at Calvin Abueva, aside from the numbers, yung energy, yung motor nitong si Calvin Abueva, the toughness, yung angas, yung edge na binibigay ni Calvin Abueva, something that you can't even quantify in terms of statistics. Yung energy na pinapakita niya, it just rubs people, his teammates, in the right way to be able to be more consistent, to be able to play with more love of that ball game. Yung paminsan may iniinda ka, tas makita mo yung Calvin Abueva bumabagsak, tas tumatayo pa din, masalo kang gaganahan eh.
May dadagdag pa dyan si Sel Guevara.
Abueva is expected to give the same amount of energy, but according to his coaches, sa taas ng energy ni Calvin, sana control ng kanyang laro to limit his errors tulad ng last conference. Si Calvin naman wants to start this conference with a lot of positivity. Balik sa inyo.
Thanks a lot, Sel. Well, that's really what everyone has been saying from the start as Romeo Travis tried to jam it home, pero may foul preventing him from completing that. He'll go to the line for 2. When we're talking about Calvin Abueva, I even asked Romeo Travis earlier, how he thinks his team will do, how he's like his coach, how he's like the Filipino brand of basketball. And I said, how's it like being the teammate of the beast? And Romeo Travis smiled. Sabi niya, yeah, the guy can play.
I'm sure wala pa siya nagiging kakampi all around the world. Nakapareho nitong si Calvin Abueva. And that's in a good way because Calvin Abueva, he will just make you, he will play you on the court, but he will also play with your mind while you're on the court. So yun yung advantage ng Calvin Abueva. That's why he's so effective.
In fact, throughout the final series between Talk and Text and Raynor Sino Commissioner's Cup, someone asked me, imagine kung si Abueva ay nasa either Talk and Text or Raynor Sino. Kasama siya dun sa lahat ng mga mind games na nangyayari throughout that final. That would have been really great. A 3 mula kay Balacuña. That's brought to us by PLDT Home Evolution. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV. Nakatref na rin si Val. And they're up by 2. 4:42 remaining sa ating first quarter of action. JB Casio leans into a three, and he gets it right back. That is brought to us by PLDT Homes Evolution as well. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV. Buhay na buhay si JB Casio.
All that time, Brian Heruelo still went over that screen kahit na napakataas na nung screen nitong si Eric Menk, which left JB Casio wide open for that three-point shot.
JP Adams short on the jumper, and Travis tracked down another rebound. Mukhang ito si Travis eh. Hindi pumupost immediately.
He's not really looking to score. Itong si Romeo Travis looks like he's trying to wait for that proper time to be able to get those assists from his teammates. Nakita mo kanina nung fast break, nung binigyan siya ng pasa, he went up hard for that dunk, but doesn't really look like he's looking to score too much for the Aces so far.
There's a reach in. Baguio ba o Eric Menk matatawagan siya? Cyrus Baguio called for his first personal. Palitan ng tao. Backcourt change. Casio and Eximiniano out. Azul and Banchero in. And you don't really lose much, especially in terms of physical defense, when those guys off the bench in the backcourt for Alaska come in.
Oh, definitely. Chris Banchero, one of those guys that really applies a lot of pressure. Na maganda rin ang pinakita niya ng All-Filipino Cup. That's why he got a lot of minutes from Coach Alex Compton. And Coach Alex really is rotating his players the past two conferences. Ang nangyari lang nung last conference, nagkaroon nga sila ng injury. So yung rotation niya was cut short, not on purpose, but because he couldn't really do anything about it.
Tama yun. Hindi naman by design yun. Nagkataon lang. The circumstances called for it. A second to go. And Bulawan, unaware, made that extra pass. Nabutan na ng 24-second violation. So that's the first one of this game. And they got to hunker down on defense once again. Itong Blackwater Elite. The Cebuano Hatsa already in the ball game. Don Ontiveros, walang pupas. Ganun pa rin. Diba? Mula sa labas, kita natin he's been doing it for many years. Banchero flips it up and in.
For Alaska to be very successful, it has to be really the team contributing in terms of offense. Especially from the early goings na nakikita natin na what kind of an import itong si Romeo Travis. Looks like they're going to need a total team effort, not just on defense, but even on offense, to be able to get the points up on the board.
Here's a guy who likes to shoot. Ito si Rail Cervantes. Overshooting, however, sa kanyang unang attempt. Para sa Kia, first it was the Kia Sorrento na naging carnival naman ng second conference. He was their leading local scorer. So itong si Rail Cervantes, alam natin he can put the ball in the basket.
I wonder kung magpapalit rin ng pangalan itong Kia. Napakaganda ng bagong Kia Carnival.
Maganda nga. Tres mula kay RJ Hazul. Off the bench agad, nakatatlo itong si RJ. You're talking about name changes. I heard that what was the Pure Food Star Hot Shots last conference is now just the Star Hot Shots para rito sa ating Governor's Cup. The name change na naman. Let's see if that does them a better performance. As we see Eric Menk step back, jumper, pasok! Lucky bounce.
Well, Eric Menk able to stay in control of that shot even after that bump. And I'm amazed, really. And, this is something na dapat tingnan ng mga batang nanonood dito sa PBA. And even the older guys, that it doesn't matter kung gaano katanda ka na, guys like Asi Taulava, Eric Menk, guys that are seniors dito sa ating liga, but still staying so fit, being able to compete in the league.
Kailangan talaga yan as we head you into this timeout. Just a minute and 49 remaining here in the first quarter. Nag-slow down ang opensa ng Blackwater Elite, pero yun, biglang tumira to si Marcos coming out of that timeout. And if you're a coach, Dom, you drop a play and you see that happen, matutuwa ka naman kahit
Oh, definitely, because hindi ka nagsayang ng timeout. You were able to get your team, reset, and say, okay, ito kinakailangan natin gawin. Kailangan natin makapuntos, ikot natin yung bola. And that's what happened. They were able to make that basket.
Former Alaska ace Rafi Reyes gets that rebound, pero stripped away by RJ Azul. Sabi siguro ni RJ, alam ko na yung move mo na yan. Dati sa practice, ginagawa mo yan palagi. And he's fouled going up the court. Gilbert Bulawan guilty. The Beast. Yan na. Para kay Coach Alex Compton. Now the ball is with Banchero, down to 9 seconds ang shot clock ng Alaska Aces. Nakatira na ng isa kanina yan, mintis naman.
But that's the second time that Banchero has been able to go all the way to the basket na wala man lang sumasabay.
Wala man lang bumabangga, no, para ilabas. So ang depensa ng Blackwater Elite, really something they need to work on. They have to challenge every shot away from the ball. Bulawan and Abueva. And weren't those guys buddies back in college? Wala na, pag iba na kulay ng uniforme. They do play a similar type of rough tumble ball game itong dalawa. Tingnan natin, away from the ball.
Both guys trying to jockey for position, but hindi natin makita dun sa sitwasyon na yun. Bulawan.
So the call is
Technical foul.
foul on Abueva and a technical on Bulawan for that second motion. Oh. So dahil isa lang ang technical, may free throw.
Yun yung sinasabi natin, yung Calvin Abueva really, he makes you play, makes you compete, but at the same time, kailangan mo mag-isip, you have to be on your toes, making the right decisions against Calvin Abueva.
He comes right down after hitting the free throw, bangga agad kay Gilbert Bulawan. Parang pa rin, dito ako.
Check lang, chine-check lang.
So we'll watch that matchup because you know Bulawan's not gonna back down, but right away, inagaw ni Calvin Abueva, nagmamadali all the way to the hoop, 3-point play in reverse. Natamaan pa, baka 4-point play pa mangyari dito kay Calvin Abueva.
And look at that. Itong si Calvin Abueva did it against Gilbert Bulawan. I mean, usually inaasahan mo gagawin ni Calvin Abueva yan dun sa mga heralded players in terms of scoring. But did it to Bulawan. He was able to get that layup. I'm not sure kung natamaan ba nung Bulawan itong si Calvin Abueva.
Looks like nothing on that replay, pero yun na nga. We have the advantage of looking at the slow-mo replay from a different vantage point. Missed free throw anyway. Cervantes, it's hit away. And
Looks like that's on Ontiveros.
Doon na, tinawagan ng unang personal niya with only 30.8 seconds remaining. 9-point lead for the Alaska Aces. And they're not in penalty, neither team is. So no free throws. Execute na naman itong Blackwater. Baba na sa Champ. Kanilang shot clock. Bulawan wants to get 2 back, overshooting. And Alaska will hold for the last second or for the last opportunity sa ating quarter number 1.
And look at Calvin Abueva going right at Gilbert Bulawan right away.
7 to go. Didiskarte na to si Banchero. Gets the contact. Flips it up. Wala. Follow up ni Eric Menk. No go. A second remaining and Marcos Daudit hindi na naipasa. So strong start for Blackwater, but then Alaska went on a tear. And all of a sudden, lamang ng siyam ang Alaska Aces 26-17 to end quarter number 1.